very person who is supposed to keep these children safe.
What scared you?
When she had the knife.
Did she pull a knife out today?
I don't know. I don't know. She pulled it out on the baby, but she didn't pull it out on nobody else. But that's who I think she did it to. And then Mama said she's gonna kill all of us, including her friend too.
On a warm Friday night in a quiet corner of Paulding County, Georgia, 7 children were home with their mother while their father was away, and within the hour, 3 of those children would be dead and everything anyone thought they knew about this family would be turned upside down. This is the story of Darlene Brister, a 40-year-old mother of 7 whom neighbors once described as devoted and who reportedly homeschooled her children full-time, and how one night in June of 2022 turned a home on Woodwind Drive into one of the most disturbing crime scenes Georgia has seen in years. Just before 9:20 p.m. on June 24, 2022, Paulding County 911 dispatchers took a frantic call reporting a house fire and a domestic disturbance at a home in the Yorkville community outside Rockmart. But this wasn't a simple house fire. Callers told dispatchers a woman inside was attempting to stab the people in the home even as flames spread through it. When Paulding County Sheriff's deputies and firefighters arrived, they walked into a scene unlike anything they'd expect on a quiet residential street. Neighbors watched in horror as children jumped from a second-story window just to escape the smoke, while others remained trapped inside. Firefighters pushed into the burning structure and pulled children out, but for 2 of them, it was already too late. A 9-month-old baby and a 3-year-old toddler were pronounced dead at the scene, both found with stab wounds. 3 more children, ages 5, 9, and 11, were rushed to area hospitals. The 5-year-old would later die from his injuries, bringing the death toll to 3. Of the 7 children in that house, only 4 would survive the night, and the woman deputies found on the property.
Through a different lens.
Did you see anything personally when the situation happened?
Yes, but no. The mall was in the backyard, and I did not know that. The whole time we were standing right there at my neighbor's back fence, but it was also like right there at their back fence. And she was in the backyard the whole time, and we didn't know that until the police officers were telling her to get down the ground or put her hands up, something like that.
Okay. What did you witness before that? Like when it all began?
Oh, I didn't witness nothing before that.
Okay.
Taken into custody without incident was their own mother. Darlene Brister was arrested that night and booked into the Paulding County Detention Center, initially facing 2 counts of malice murder, with investigators warning publicly that more charges were coming. She would be held without bond from that point forward. Meanwhile, the children's father, Ricky Brister, hadn't been home when it happened. Just days later, in an emotional interview with local news, a visibly shaken Ricky said he still loved his wife of 17 years, describing her as a good mother who'd been quietly struggling with depression.
For like 3 months or so.
So, question. Your wife, she's still alive. I mean, do you plan on still being with her?
I don't know. She needs some help. I love her, but she needs some help. I can't. She would not take her medicine, so I don't know what to do with that situation right now, honestly.
Okay.
I haven't made up my mind. I mean, I love her, and I know the Bible says, to death do us part, and she's not dead. And I do believe in doing what the Bible says, but this is really hard.
I'm not saying maybe, okay, so I guess you're thinking like divorce, is that what you're thinking in your head? I'm thinking like, when I say be with her, I mean actually you and the kids, once she, I guess if she gets out, you go stay with her.
No. I think with that situation, if she gets out, I don't know, she needs to be, no, we can't stay with her. Because she's not stable enough. She's not, I can't know.
Okay.
she's not stable enough to, because she was over to Section 8, and that's how she got a chance to constantly put me out.
Ask the public for compassion, for prayers, and for help covering funeral costs for the 3 children they just lost. It's the kind of statement that left a lot of people asking the same uncomfortable question. How does a woman described as a loving, devoted mother?
Yeah, if you just writes a witness statement about her character with the kids and stuff like that, just like he told us, and then what you saw.
That's not going to help her, right? Because she needs to be there.
No, that's not going to help her. We're just saying that her character before and then her character now.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you just told us.
Yeah.
Just to show the court system that, you know, how the neighbors saw her act beforehand with the family.
Yeah,
versus what occurred.
I don't know if I'm religious, but I honestly thought she must have been possessed or something. It was a complete turnaround. She's like went insane or something. And I understand she's homeschooling 7 kids, but that's a mental breakdown, not a do what she did.
End up accused of killing her own children? To understand what happened on Woodwind Drive, investigators had to look back at the years leading up to that night. Darlene and Ricky had been married for 17 years, and over that time built a family of 7 children, the oldest a teenager, the youngest still a baby at just 9 months old. By most accounts, money was tight. The family reportedly relied on housing assistance and food stamps, and according to what Ricky later told investigators,
Her head above water.
Where do you work?
I'm unemployed right now.
Okay. Employed. Okay. How long have you been unemployed?
I've been unemployed since the pandemic started. Since COVID.
In 2020?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do prior to 2020?
I was working at Dollar General.
Okay.
In terms of support, so right now, what support looks like for the family?
The way that we did it was we would take our, like the income tax that we get during the year, and we didn't splurge with it. We would take and pay all our bills forward for the year.
Okay.
And we were on Section 8.
Okay.
So Section 8 paid the full bill.
Okay.
And we was getting government-assisted food stamps.
Okay.
Yes,
neither parent worked outside the home while Darlene homeschooled the children. To neighbors, the family mostly kept to themselves, though a few said they'd occasionally hear the couple bickering. Nothing that struck anyone as alarming at the time, just what seemed like the ordinary friction of a large family stretched thin. But relatives who spoke to detectives in the days after the fire described a very different picture. One of a woman who, in hindsight, had been quietly unraveling for months. Ricky later told investigators that after the birth of their youngest child, Darlene was diagnosed with major depression, and, on top of that, postpartum depression, and had started seeing a psychiatrist, though he said she wasn't always consistent about taking her medication and that.
Yes, that was it. It was good for a while until, just recently, I would say, when she had the last baby. She ended up, I never knew that she had major depression. She got diagnosed with that, but she had also postpartum depression. So, and then, she was having a psychiatrist, so it would be like almost arguing, if like every other day, and sometimes we'll go a week without arguing. Then, it would it would like she never take responsibility for the stuff that she did. So
arguments between them had grown more frequent in recent months. Extended family members painted an even more troubling picture in their own interviews. describing a household that had grown increasingly isolated, with concerns raised about how withdrawn and closed off the children seemed to anyone outside the family. One relative, who works in education, later said she'd noticed several of the kids.
Her observations, there were a few things that didn't sit right with her.
I'm an educator. Just wrapped up my tenure as a principal, and I work in human resources, and I do Title IX, so gender discrimination and sexual harassment. That's my all day, every day. So with that hat on, I did have some concerns because all the kids have a type of speech, have a speech issue, a speech and language. All of their language is very slurred, not proper enunciation. So you can tell like these kids have not had a chance to talk about anybody outside of their home, because it's the interaction with other people that help you to
develop your speaking.
It's the reason why I don't have my hometown country twang anymore. It's because you get out, you get to talk to other people, and you assimilate. So you could tell that they did not have that access.
Struggled with basic speech and language skills for their ages, something she chalked up at the time to how little exposure they'd had to anyone outside their own four walls, never imagining it pointed toward anything darker than an overly sheltered upbringing. That same relative described Darlene, before that night, as warm and affectionate with the children.
She was a really good mother, and she came up and she had time with my kids and loved on my kids, and I let her be with my kids alone. Do you think if I thought she was going to do that on Friday, I would let her anywhere near my children? But she was great. She was a great aunt. She connected with them. She did art projects with them, and that's my kids and her kids. So nobody had anybody thought that this was how this was going to manifest. I would have been down here. I would have come down here and gotten her and took her to the hospital myself. But I really feel like, and it's not right, but in that psychotic break, I felt like she was trying to get away. I don't think she meant to survive. I don't know. I heard that she was on the back porch. I think she was going to sit there until she got consumed with the flames as well. Because the Darlene that I know and the Darlene that I saw was not the same, because we were waiting. I was like ready to do a CPS or a child support, call. But she fed them, she clothed them, she loved them. They were just in this really restrictive environment.
Trusted enough to leave alone with her own kids on multiple occasions, which is part of what makes the case so hard for anyone who knew her to reconcile. Neighbors said much the same thing, describing a woman who, up until very recently, had seemed like an attentive, hands-on mother, which only made the sudden shift in her behavior in the weeks before the fire feel so jarring in hindsight. Investigators also learned this wasn't the first time alarm bells had gone off. Relatives and neighbors told detectives that months before the fire, there had been an earlier crisis serious enough that Darlene was reportedly.
A much different meaning.
Well, see, Ricky, I know him a little bit, the man, the dad. I mean, he'll come over here and talk to me sometimes, but, I don't know him that well. But I know Sunday, I was out here drinking coffee, and Sunday morning he was packing all his stuff up. All his clothes, shoes, everything. He threw the baby car seat out on the driveway and the stroller out, because they got a minivan. He was taking everything out there, putting out all his stuff. And I noticed he was gone all week. He wasn't here all week long. And that's rare, because they don't work or nothing. They're usually there all the time.
Neither one of them work?
Not that I know of. They're there all day, every day. And so I figured, and see, back, I think it was, I want to say around December, I'm probably wrong on that. The cops got called out here, and they took her away and everything. And he came over here, later that evening or the next day, and explained to us what was going on, and saying that she had got a knife or something and threatened to kill all of them and stuff like that. And I was like, man. And he said that's why they took her away, because they were going to have her evaluated or something.
Yeah.
And, then a couple days later, she was back.
Have you ever heard them fighting or arguing?
Oh, yeah. It would never be nothing I would say aggressively, but you would hear them bickering back and forth, but never no slamming or, breaking stuff or cussing or nothing like that, but you would hear them, going back and forth, not often, but I did.
Removed from the home for a psychiatric evaluation, only to return a short time later. If accurate, it raises the question true crime cases like this one always seem to circle back to.
Did you know of any arguments or any domestic violence, domestic abuse that would happen in the household?
She had to come over there and get her out of there because she tried to kill everybody. That was about October, November, something like that.
When was this?
About October last year.
October last year?
She stayed gone for about a couple months, something like that. And came back. And said she was all better, so she felt better.
Can I tell you the story that my grandbaby told me? And I don't think there's a reason. It was all of them. It was meant for all of them. Okay. She gave them pills that morning, sleeping pills. The girls didn't take theirs. Only one of the girls took theirs. They were asleep. The other, Dante and the other one that went in. That's what my baby told me. And if I fall out, sometimes it's hard to say it, to relive it.
I understand. You take your time.
Charity, told me that my mama gave us some pills that morning to take. And she told us to bring these flowers and her whatever machine she made t-shirts with, put them in the car. And they did that. And she said that my mama was acting funny. And so my mama got in the car and took the car down the street and came back and gave us some pills to take. And I didn't take my pills, and Faith didn't take hers, but Charity took her pills. And the boys took their pill, and it was sleeping pills because I know that they went to sleep.